Hey, what's up, everyone? Victor Joshua here, creator of the Live Game. The Live Game is a concept that I came up with the idea that God wants us to be successful in three aspects of our lives: personal experience, personal opinion. You don't have to like it, but if you like it, if it makes sense to you, I welcome you to this channel because everything we're going to be talking about is going to be around these three aspects. And because it's my personal experience and my personal opinion, and I'm going to be teaching and talking about that because I'm being compelled to help more people find answers to these questions. And today, the thing that I want to talk about is this thing called passion and how that this thing has been a stumbling block to people being the best version of themselves. The thing called passion and how it's been a stumbling block to people being the best version of themselves. Don't get me wrong. Passion is very good. In fact, I believe that you should have passion in everything you're trying to do, because if you don't have passion, if you're not passionate about the thing you're trying to do, people see it and they know that you don't really like the thing that you're doing. And then it affects the way you communicate the thing. And so it affects every other thing. And so I believe that you should have passion for the things you're trying to do. However, passion is an emotion that stays with you when you do something that you like for an extended period of time. So passion is just an emotion. And on top of that, it's attached to the real thing that you do. And so the real thing that you do could be could be playing football, but then you're passionate about it because you're doing it for a long time and then you love it and you're so good at it. And so that's where people get passionate about something, and it's an emotion. And then the major issue about passion is that a whole lot of people stay doing one single thing, even though they're not getting like the result that they want to get. Now, don't get me wrong. There's also the concept whereby you have to keep doing the same thing for a long time, even if you're not getting the result. But because you know that when you keep doing it for a long time, you're going to get the kind of result that you want. There's something like that. But there's also the part whereby you know that, hey, this is the level that I am, and this is the level of the things that I can do. I'm probably trading time for money, and there's so much that I can do that can fetch me the amount of money that I want to make. And so it means that there's so much money that I can make. There's so much impact that I can make doing the same thing. But the passion that is there, the passion that comes with the thing that you're doing, makes it hard for you to let go of the thing because you're so passionate about the thing. For example, you've been doing it for a long time. Some of us have been doing the thing from like our childhood, and then now you don't want to let go of the thing because you feel attached to it. And so, but the thing about it is, have you ever heard stories where people say, oh, that I'm passionate about this thing, but it's not paying the bills. I'm passionate about this thing, but it doesn't give me the money that I want. And so it's a real issue. Like, it's a real problem that I don't see a lot of people talking so much about it. And it's something that is affecting a whole lot of people. As a matter of fact, in my own space, I like to call it my space because I still love the space, right? In the music space where I used to be, and I know a whole lot of people that this thing is still affecting them because now they don't know so much and they think like that's the only thing, and then we're just going to find a way around it. But then it gets too late. It gets to the point whereby it's now too late, and then you have to build a family, you have to like pay bills, you have to like real issues of life, and then the amount of money coming in from the things from the so-called passion is not, it's just way here. And then the level of expenses and problems and issues and things you have to pay for is way high and keeps going up. And this one just stays at the same level and doesn't go high because there's so much you can make. There's just a level that you can get to. There's just a glass ceiling that is holding you back from just being the best version of yourself. And that comes from just liking and just loving something so much that you don't want to let go of it. And so it's a major problem. And I feel that we need to talk about this thing more. And I'm just going to talk about like a very short story that I think you know about if you've been watching the previous videos that I've had here. How that I started off with playing the drums in church. This is something that I've been doing like from my childhood. I've been doing that in different ways. And when I was in school, I even taught people how to do that. And when I got out of school, I got a job in the church. And I was doing that. But it got to a point that I realized, because I'm like, okay, hold on. Like I did it for a year and a half. And I got to this point in August 2018 because I started doing the job in April 2017. In August 2018, I got to the end of the road. I'm like, this is a crossroad. Like, there's something wrong, and I need to find the answer to this thing. And so I'm here going to church every Wednesday and every Saturday and Sunday doing this thing. Is so much like, there's no matter how much I do, I still get paid the same amount of money. No matter how much I play, no matter how much, if I'm sick and I come to play in church, I get the same amount of money. If I'm well and I play so well and everybody's like, whoa, I still get the same amount of money. And so I thought about them like, so how far can I go with this thing? So I was frustrated. I had no idea. I was just tired. And so I was alone in the room at that time and I was asking questions. I'm like, what exactly is happening to me? Like, I need answers to this question. There is something more, and there's a level that I need to go to, but I just don't know how to go to that level. I have no information. I have no idea how I'm going to go to that level. And I believe there's something that happened to me at that day that I was having to ask myself questions. It was me asking myself questions. And I believe you're a Christian, you know that we're a spirit being, and this body is just your body, just so you can function here on earth. And so when my spirit communicating with the Spirit of God, and I was being like, it was like my spirit man was asking me, my five physical senses was communicating and asking me questions. And the first question that he asked me, and that was God, the first question God asked me is, how rich do you want to be? I paused for a second. I'm like, I thought I knew how rich I wanted to be. And this question like came to me directly and I had to answer the question. And I said, I want to be so rich. I want to be very rich so that I can help people, help my parents, help my siblings, help my family. Because I mean, like we're not having it good. So I want to be very rich. And he told me and said, do you think that you can be rich doing what you're doing right now? I said, yeah, of course I can. Why not? Because I'm gonna like, if I get tired of playing in this church, I'm like, I want to get a raise. I could go audition for another church, a bigger church, and get paid higher. Or if I'm tired of that, I could go audition for an artist. And then if I'm tired of that, I could go for a bigger artist and then just keep climbing the ladder like that. And I said, yeah. And then if I like save a lot of money, I can go buy some, studio equipment and start production. And then I can just maybe like build a school, like a drum academy or something. In fact, I had a drum academy when I was in school, back then in school, before I dropped out of school. And so that was the whole thing. And then I was so passionate about this thing. Like, that's my whole life. Beautiful. And then God told me that, do you realize that you're always behind and you're not the main person? Like, every time you play, think about every single time that you play the drums, you're always behind. Think about every musician, every instrumentalist. Think about every time you guys play, you're always behind and you're not the main person. You're not the person they're seeing. I'm like, no. Like, it was a dialogue. Like I was like, no, like people see me, especially when they give me like some few seconds to solo on drums and like everybody sees me. I'm like, wow, so this guy is so good. But that's all that there is to it. And then after that time, I'm not the one people see. And I started seeing the truth and the idea that God was trying to point my mind to something that I never had an idea of, that I never knew. It's the fact that I'm not the main person. It's the singer that's the main person. And the singer is functioning at a higher level of value than I am. And so it means that the singer is going to get paid more than I. So singer's probably going to get the money, and then the singer gives stipends to all the instrumentalists. And so we're going to be the bottom of the chain getting the money. And then there's so much we can get and there's so much we can do. Even if I go play for the biggest artists in the world, yes, there's just so much I can make. And so the responsibility is going to be so high. And so the income is going to be so high. And so I'm going to be tied down into doing the same thing. I don't have freedom. Like, I just thought about it for a second. I'm like, whoa, this thing is so true. And I said, okay, so hold up. So now that you're asking that this is not the right thing to be doing at this time, what exactly do you want me to do? Like, what exactly do you want me to do? And you won't believe the thing that God told me. It was so profound. I was writing these things down. It's in my journal. I'm going to share this journal. I'm going to just like take a picture and share it. It's in August 2018. I was having a dialogue, and then God said to me, I'm going to give you businesses that is going to fund these dreams and these talents and these passions that you have. Because right now, clearly, they're not making you the money that you want to make. And there's so much you can make. I'm like, wow. But the thing that happened to me that day was I was so passionate. I was so emotionally tied down to that thing that I almost didn't want to let go. I cried because I'm like, you're taking my whole life from me. This is the thing that I love to do. Now you're taking everything away from me. So like you're living with nothing. You're telling me that this the thing that I'm trying to build is not the thing that I should be pursuing right now. It worked for me for a season. That's why every season of our lives comes with different things, comes with different responsibilities, comes with different tool sets, comes with different skill sets, comes with different mindsets. And so at that time, I needed to move away because I was trying to get to another level. And so I needed to have a different skill set, a different mindset. And that was the thing God was dealing with me at that day. And so I cried because I was so passionate about the thing. And because passion is just something you do for a long time. And so it means that I have to find something else that I'm going to like, that I'm going to do for a long time, that I'm going to have passion for. That's the way passion comes. And so I cried so much because I was like very naive. I had no idea what I was going to do. I've never run a business before. I've never done anything. I was just there. Like I was crying. And so fast forward, I started stumbling on, learning skills and everything. And today I'm in business, right? And so the thing I'm trying to say is that a whole lot of people get stuck in this emotional like loophole, emotional dilemma with something that they really love. But when you think about it, you're really at the bottom of the food chain. You're really at the bottom of the value chain. And there's so much you can make. Because when you think about it, talent as a standalone is solely dependent on several factors like opportunities, your location, the resources that you have, the information that you have, like the talents that you have is so much dependent on all these things that you need to gauge all these things and think about it. Like the time that I was very athletic in school, I was running 100 meters, 200, 400 meters, and I'll run relay. In fact, I had a nickname that my housemaster used to call me a horse. So I had this because I could sprint very well and I could jump, high jump. Like I could do it so well that there was only one guy that could outrun me and then we would outrun each other. His name is Henry. And Henry is the only guy that could outrun me. And so when I knew that I could do that, I didn't have the opportunity to be able to harness that thing and develop it and deploy it because, my country doesn't really prioritize sports like that. Maybe if I was in America, maybe if I was in the UK, I could have the opportunity to be able to like go for sports and everything because I realized that you need to understand that you cannot overlook the talents that you have. You're not just, you didn't just appear. Now you can learn skills. Those are things you can learn, but the things that come to you naturally, there's so much enough for you to do life with. And that's why I believe that God has deposited into everyone the thing that they need to be able to do life at any point in their life. Everybody has different things, but the problem is we don't try to identify all these little things that we can choose from to be able to deploy these things at different aspects of our life, at different seasons of our life. So we find one thing and then we just stick to that one thing. And it's a good thing to do because if it's working, then you need to stick to it and do it. If you're convinced that, oh yeah, you're looking at, the value chain. Okay, I'm somewhat in the middle and I have the resources, or even if you're at the bottom, but you have the resources to be able to move up to the next level of the value chain, of which in the next video, I'm going to make a part 2 of this video. And I'm going to share with you how I discovered last year and this year the 4 levels of value and how God was trying to tell me and how God was trying to show me that thing in 2018 and how he made me see that I was at the bottom and which means that I could only earn so much. And it was trying to just get me to the next level and to the next level. And it was until this year that I realized that, wow, he was trying to show me the 4 levels of value. And I know a lot of people today that's so emotional and stuck doing the same thing. And then they keep making the same complaints and saying, oh, this thing isn't working. Oh, my church just sacked me. My church just retrenched every one of us and says that, They can't pay every one of us. Now we're looking for another church. And then like, at what point will these guys think? So at that time, I had this idea, but I didn't have enough evidence in my life because I hadn't practiced, I hadn't like found out how to change my own life with the things that I knew. And so when I tell these guys that this is what we should be doing, this is what we should be doing, nobody listens to me because now like I had no evidence. But now the same guys still being the same thing, and the salary has only been increased like maybe like 10% in the space of 5 years, and they're still doing the same thing. It's still a rat race, and they're being emotional. And the problem is, you don't want to think about the other things that you have at your disposal. You're only emotional and attached to one single thing, and it's like, and you know how music is. Music is like passion, is like emotional. Like you just want, like you cannot understand what I'm saying unless you're a musician, right? And so, and I think yeah, it applies to every other thing. So that other things too that people might be doing that they're passionate about, but the thing is not paying the bills. It's not giving them the amount of money and the fulfillment and the income that they want, and so they're staying there. So you can love something and stay there. You can stay in something and not love something. E.g., people doing jobs and working 9 to 5, and they're doing it for a long time, and they're not passionate about it because they have to just do it just so they can make money. So they're not passionate about it, but they stay there for a long time. But so I'm just saying that to say that you need to understand when somebody stays in the same thing and doing what you love and stay in the same thing, you build passion. You can stay in the same thing doing it for a long time and you don't like it and you don't love it. You can't be passionate about it. You're just there because you have to be there. And so I'm saying that to say that all these things, like this whole emotional attachment that we have with things, we need to break it, because we need to understand that we need to have the things that we need for the time, for the season of our lives. At the time of the season of my life that I needed the money to just get me by, to feed and everything, I did that. And so when it was time for me to grow from that point, I needed to ditch the drumming thing. I needed to ditch that level of value. And so I can make room for a higher level of value so I can make more money, because now imagine I'm married now. Imagine I was still playing the drums. I might not be able to get married. Like I might not be able to do all these things that I'm doing now, but because I'm already on the journey, I'd already moved away from that part and resigned, even though it took me like 2 years to resign because I was so afraid. I had no idea what I was going to do, but I was gradually leaving it, and I was taking all the money I was earning from it. I was using it for personal development. And so I can build the mindset, the skill set for the next level that I was going. And in 2021, you wouldn't believe, I wrote a book from nowhere. This is somebody who's like, the whole thing that he ever knew was drums. And I wrote a book about sales and ads because I did that when I learned some skills. I was doing it for a few clients, and I understood this concept. And now I wrote a book, and I just like few weeks ago, I just thought about it. I'm like, where did I get this? Like, is it a skill or is it a talent for me to be able to communicate like this and teach like this? And it was the time that I realized that I had the teaching talent. And so I had to ditch the music talent. I ditched the drumming talent, and to pick up another talent that I didn't know that I have, but I stumbled upon it. Right. And so like, imagine me being athletic, being a musician, being a drummer. I can sing and I can play the keyboard very well, but that's not a talent, but something I learned because it's a skill. I learned that. And I realized that all these things cannot give me the income that I need, because I love them too, but I had to let them go because they're not going to give me the level of income that I need for the next level that I'm going. I know that when I get to the place where I'm going to, and I have all these resources available to me, I can do a whole lot of things when it comes to music, when it comes to drumming, like I can now do those things without being in survival mode, right? I can do it freely and I can exhibit my talents. You see, you're still back to square one, but you're doing it better. Now you're doing it with a different mindset, not because you're just like, oh my goodness, like you're doing it and you're broke. No. So that's the thing. Like, you need to understand that. Then I asked myself, I said, where did I get the teaching thing from? Then I realized that, oh, my dad My dad would go from Sunday to Sunday to Sunday to Sunday to Sunday for 3 different months, and he would teach series of messages, of teachings, and he would use stories, illustrations, and he would teach all these things. And we'll be so intrigued. I remember, like, we'll all be looking, and we'll be so invested in the teaching. And he knows how to use stories a lot. He knows how to use teaching stories to teach. And I realized that, wow, so I got that from my dad. And so that's a talent that I need to harness then. And so I identified, I discovered it, and I developed it, and now I'm deploying it. And so now it's on the, I think it's on the third level of value. I'm going to make another video where I'm going to share with you and how all the things that I'm doing now fell into all the levels of value, and how what I was doing was the lowest, and what I'm doing now is like the second to the highest level of value is what we call the communication level, whereby now I can communicate the idea that I have. I can communicate the resources that I have in my head, the experiences, the skills, everything that I have. I can make them into frameworks, into concepts, into mind maps, into anything that I want to make it into, and communicate that to people. And in 2021, you wouldn't believe, from nowhere, after COVID, I wrote a book. Wow. A book of 124 pages. And right now I'm making it into an audio version so that people can listen to on Spotify, on my podcast, on the Live Game podcast. And so, like, this is me coming from literally having nothing else aside the thing that I was doing. And I needed to go into a new level of value, and I didn't know how to do it. But because I had that encounter, and God had to teach me, because I had no one to teach me. A whole lot of you might have people that might mentor you and teach you and show you the way. But for some of us, we don't have anyone to teach us. We didn't have parents, didn't teach us all these things. The thing that my parents taught me is good morals, be content, and be the best version of yourself. And that's beautiful. That's enough. But the thing about skills and making money and everything, my parents didn't know that. And so I had to learn that the hard way. And I thank God, because God helped me, and he orchestrated my steps to stumble upon things, people, resources that would get me to the place where I am right now. And so right now I'm operating on the third level of value that is next to the highest level of value. And so that's how I'm able to move and to ditch the thing that I'm so like emotionally attached to, so that I can create room for something else. And so if you're here today, I'm not trying to like so what's the word? This countenance, or I'm not trying to ditch whatever you're trying to do, but I'm just trying to tell you that if the thing you're trying to do now, if the thing that you're passionate about is not paying the bills, like paying the bills, like, you know that you're stepping into a different level of your life. Oh, you're preparing for marriage in the next 2-3 years, and you know that thing isn't going to do it. You need to ditch it. You need to just ditch it. That's the truth. But if you're at a level where you have to flex, and you have all the time to learn, you have all the time to, like, you have like 2, 3, 4, 5 years to like just learn, make mistakes. Yeah, why not? Just keep doing that thing and just strive to go higher. Do not get attached to anything. That's the thing. Do not get attached to anything, especially when the thing is not giving you the result that you want. You know that there is no way. A whole lot of people know that there is no way in the thing that you're doing, and they know that's not going to get them to where they're trying to go. And then they still keep doing it because they're so attached to the thing. And so they try to look for something, little side hustle. Like, don't look for side hustle. Look for main things that you're going to do. So people go look for side hustles that they do, you're not really passionate about it, you don't really love it, and then it doesn't provide you the result, and then so you're just going in a circle like that. So what you need to do is to completely ditch the thing that you used to do, and create another environment, and create another space for yourself, whereby you can now make room for something else, for something else that is higher. And like I said in the next video, I'm going to share with you how I didn't know that accidentally that God was trying to teach me the 4 levels of values, the levels of values I never knew. Like, because it was telling me, like, how rich you want to be. Like, you can't be richer than the one who is singing. You're always going to be behind. You can't be richer than the one who is making the communicating the song. That's the person that people see. No one sees you being the drummer. No one sees you being the keyboardist. No one sees you being the bassist. Of course, yeah, they know you're there, but like when everybody leaves the church, no one thinks about you. Everybody thinks about the person who is singing the song, because that's the person who can use the words to communicate to them. And that's the thing that remains. That's the thing that sticks. Words that people can can relate to, that can bless people, that can uplift people, that can do anything to people, that's the thing that people can relate to. And that was the day that God told me that I'm gonna be in front and not be behind. And so I had to figure out ways that that thing was gonna make sense in my life. And I feel like we need to share these things more, because there's a lot of people who just passionate about something and it's not making them money, but they just want to keep doing it because they think that like they have a lot of time. And then there come a time when all the time there's no time anymore, and then they need to like make something happen, and then it's too late. And so don't fall into that trap. If you have something you're doing right now, you love that thing so much, you love it so dearly, but you know that that thing is not making you the money that you want, you need to ditch it. You can come back to it. The mistake I made at that time is that I thought God was trying to tell me that I was gonna like let go of the thing completely. It was after a while I started realizing that no, when I'm done doing the thing that would make me the money, that would create the business and the resources and the assets, I can do this. Nothing stops me from doing that. Because now if I'm a personal branding, like I'm trying to build a personal brand, if I'm trying to do that, I can do anything that I love to do. I can do that for fun, because like it's passion. You don't have to get paid for it. Passion is the thing that you can do without getting paid for. So why not just make the money, do the things that's going to make you the money, and now you can now conveniently do the passion and exhibit it and deploy it whichever way you want to do it. And so I hope that blesses you. I hope this helps somebody out there. I make this kind of videos to help people that might be in the same situation that I've been in my life. The things that I had no one to teach me, that I stumbled upon the answers by myself, and I'm being compelled to make videos like this to be able to help people. I'm not doing this because I'm trying to make money. I have things that I'm working on that is going to make me the money. So this is like a community service that I'm doing. So I hope this helps you. Please like, share, and subscribe. Share this thing to somebody else who you think might need it. Subscribe. I have just 2 subscribers. That's fine. But I know that I have like 6 or 7 or 21 views, like 6 views. Those of you that are viewing, just, it doesn't hurt you. It doesn't bite. The thing called subscribe doesn't bite you. Just click it, and just support, right? Support the channel. So God bless you and take it easy. Bye.